Proceed.
Hello. Checking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Current.
Welcome video, please.
Yeah. Current, please start.
We have the video.
Yeah.
First video.
Sure.
Namaste, good morning, and good evening, dear UtSahins. The best gift for a freedom fighter is a promise that we will always take care of the nation, love it with our heart and soul in it. Wish you all a very happy Independence Day and very good evening and Namaste, dear UtSahins. A warm welcome to today's session, rather a very special session to celebrate the UtSahins' second anniversary. And this has been super special as we are celebrating this on the occasion of 75 years of Indian independence celebrations, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. And firstly, I would like to welcome the UtSahins, our today's guests, who joined us today to inspire us with their talk. Firstly, Dr. Shamakrishnan Garu, Chief Medical Officer, Indian System of Medical Department, who is going to talk on the speak on the topic healthy lifestyle. Our second speaker, Sri Padmanabhan Ayyagaru, who is a lead architect, VMware, who is going to emphasize on the topic humility, Vinayam. And Sri Santosh Jaj Garu, who is a senior vice president, head of project management, Ribbit, who is going to talk on the topic magic of finance management. And Dr. Anand Subramani sir, vice president, AstraZeneca, USA, and who is a Carnatic musician, and who is going to talk on the topic, follow your passion. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us to inspire us. I would like to welcome our inspiration, the founder of UtSahin, Mr. Ramreddy Garu, the co-founder and the director of UtSahin Educating Minds platform, Raghuram Garu, and Mr. Anirban Paul sir, the director of UtSahin Awakening Azadi, and the whole team of UtSahin were always there to make UtSahin an incredible platform. And before giving the stage to our master of the ceremony, Raghuram sir, let me give a short glimpse of the platforms UtSahin Educating Mind and UtSahin Awakening Hearts. So UtSahin Educating Minds, a platform to foster collaboration, new perspectives, and professional growth for any industry. We discuss on various domains on this platform like arts and culture, economy, education, ethics, health, science and environment, sports and technology, and many more. And UtSahin Awakening Hearts platform is a platform where spiritual seekers and journalists from fields of service and education come together to celebrate oneness, appreciate universal human values, connect with heartfulness, and shower love to realize the self within. So without any ado, let me welcome Raghuram sir to kickstart today's eve with a prayer and take care of the further proceedings. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sharon, for the introduction. Sangachatvam samvadatvam samvo manamsi janata. Sangachatvam samvadatvam samvo manamsi janata. Devabhagam yadha purve Devabhagam yadha purve Sanjanana upasate Samano mantra sametihi samani samanam Manaha sahachittamesha Samaneva akutihi samana hridayanivaha samanamastu om mano yathavah Susahasati. Sangachatvam. Welcome everybody for today's wonderful session on the occasion of both Indian Independence Day as well as UtSahin's second anniversary. I wholeheartedly welcome each and everybody present in this platform for today's session, which is going to be for, uniqueness of today's session is, this is going to be for 75 minutes, coinciding our Indian independence 75 years. So we have 4 beautiful speakers, 4 knowledgeable experts in the field, their own field of work. And without much delay, I would like to welcome my close friend. All are my 10th class classmates. We all studied in the same school, same classes, and for 5 years. And it's going to be a wonderful sharing of their expertise. And I'm feeling very proud to have each and everybody, all my speakers, all the speakers for the day. And first, I would like to welcome Dr. Shamakrishnan. And he is, as the invite shows, everything is there about him. He is the Chief Medical Officer in the Indian Systems of Medicine Department of Kerala, and he has lot of accolades, lot of awards he has won from Government of Kerala, and lot of literature. He has authored several scientific and related articles that is related to his own subject, Ayurveda. And I welcome Shamakrishnan for his inspirational talk. Over to you, Sham.
Thank you, Raghuram. Thank you. So, first of all, it's a great pleasure and honor to be present here, present in this platform with my friends and at the second anniversary of UtSahin, and to speak on a very relevant subject, lifestyle, in the perspective of Ayurveda. So the only way to optimal health, we cannot buy health. So to follow the norms of the body or resort to only which are beneficial to the body. So there is no way out. So there are some health indicators mentioned in Ayurveda so that we can assess our health without any laboratory investigations. These are the body's own norms which it projects. So the first one is Sukhenada Pradibodhanam, to wake up refreshed. That is the first one. So sleep allows our body and mind to repair and recharge. This is very, very important one. It's a protective mechanism, leaving you refreshed and alert when you wake up. So this is the first sign for health. So you should not ignore it. Should be we should wake up very refreshed. So what are unhealthy habits related to it? If you need any stimulants to get activated, it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy practice and it indicates that you are not healthy. So when you get up in the morning, you should be refreshed. So what are its, how we can achieve it? That is, we will see in the next slides. So another one is Nidra Labho Yatha Kalam. So getting timely sleep, that is also very, very important one. Our body's natural circadian rhythm is designed to wake up when light and sleep in darkness. But due to our job, we may be forced to wake up at nights. So Ayurveda gives clue for that also, guidelines for those persons who are resort to wake up at night. The guideline is you can sleep half of the time without taking food. So that is the guideline given by Ayurveda for those persons who are wake up in the night. So it indicates that to fulfill our metabolic activities and to repair our system, to repair our immune system, this is very, very important one to get proper sleep. So waking up at night is unhealthy and it's time for body to rest and heal. So you should allow it. It is a protective mechanism. Then one is Vaigarikanam cha Swapnanam Adarsanam. You should get sound sleep without dreadful dreams. Means your body and mind should be relaxed. Then only you will get a sound sleep. So what are unhealthy habits? Dreadful dreams, waking in between, not getting proper sleep, not getting proper sleep at night. Those things are unhealthy, and a heavy dinner and restless body and a restless mind will cause this unhealthy sleeping habits. Then another one is Abhyavahari Abhilasha. It's a very vast subject. I am concising it. Timely hunger. You should get hunger before you take food. It's very, very important guideline given by Ayurveda. We usually resort to time only. Whether we are hungry or not, we are not analyzing and we are taking food at the right time, but it is not healthy. And also there should be a relish for food at proper time. When you take food, you should be able to relish it. So that craving should be there for food. Then Abhyavahasya Aharasya Kale Samyak Janma, proper and timely digestion of ingested food. Only if the food which you have taken previously get digested, you have to take the next food. So there should be hunger should be there. It indicates that the previous food has been digested properly. Then only you can go for the next one. So you should arrange your previous food so that you get the hunger at the right time. So the quantity and quality of the food should be manipulated according to your own body. Each one has to design your food habits. Then only you will get proper digestion and proper hunger at right time. So unhealthy means eating without hunger, untimely. Those things are unhealthy habits. And another health indicator is Sarirogasaya Balavarti. According to our food intake, it should reflect in our body with proper nutrition and endurance. If it is not proportionate, it is unhealthy. So you can see that you are unhealthy considering your food intake, the quality of the food and quantity of the food. If it is not proportionate, it indicates that it is unhealthy. Another one which we often ignore is easy and regular evacuation of bowel and bladder, including for ladies' menstrual periods. So that should be very easy one and should be a very regular one. So don't hold them. It's very unhealthy practice to hold them as a habit and to induce them with any drugs or any food items. You should not induce them. That is also unhealthy. It will finally damage your system. Another one is Swaravarna Yoga, that is optimum function of sense organs. This is also very much needed for health, and we usually ignore them. In this era, we usually ignore them. We are bombarding our system with a lot of sensory stimuli, especially screen time. So overuse of sense organ is also an unhealthy practice. Another one is Rugubashamanam, that is the absence of physical and mental pain. Should be free of all type of mental and physical pain. That indicates you are healthy. Then the overall assessment, the feeling of wellness in all dimensions of life, that is physical, mental, social, spiritual, in all aspects you should feel a feeling of wellness. That is very important. Only if these are fulfilled, you can say you are healthy. Otherwise, you are unhealthy. You have to change your lifestyle accordingly, and especially to take away message, I would advise take only very light dinner. That preferably 3 hours before you go to bed. That will prevent many NCDs, non-communicable diseases, many allergies, many arthritis conditions. You can prevent it by simply changing your dinner. It should be very light and it should be earlier, around 3 hours before you go to sleep. And exercise regularly. Take food only when you are hungry. And don't use stimulants for energy and activity for getting active. So avoid those things and avoid artificial foods, junk foods. Then you can stay healthy. Even if you are getting any disease, you can easily cure it. So to conclude, rather than preaching through media posts like good evening, good morning, good night, etc., let us practice how to sleep and wake up healthy. For the real healthy good nights and good mornings. So I am concluding it here. Thank you, Raghuram, and thank you, my dear friends, Santosh George, Subramani and Padmanabhan, and all behind this UtSahin for giving me this opportunity to share some of the ideas from Ayurveda. Thank you all. Thank you.
Raghu, you are on mute. Still cannot hear you.
Hello, am I audible now? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry. There is a confusion here. Thank you so much, Sham. You not only helped us in understanding unhealthy habits, you helped us to overcome those unhealthy habits and realize ourselves and reflect ourselves, and given us the clue about how many hours we should before sleep we should have. And wonderful. Thank you so much, Sham, and we'll get back to you on the closing comment. And yeah, now we have got Mr. Padmanabhan, and a long profile, and he is one person. He is one person I would like to refer to, who has started from a very humble beginning. Of course, all of us are like that, but he is one person who has gone into different areas of, profile. His interests include the spirituality, yoga, meditation, hiking, biking, my God, gardening, carpentry, all this slim-looking person. Okay, so over to you, Padmanabhan. Inspire us.
Thank you. So today's topic, thanks Raghuram, and wonderful insights through Dr. Shamakrishnan. And I'm really again, I'm feeling really overwhelmed with all this kind of love, affection, and all that. And today being the Independence Day, I don't know what to say. And I had to use this again. I had to be humble enough to, to be part of this team. So today's topic is humility, Vinayam. So, and again, thanks everyone for this opportunity. And I'm really, from the bottom of my heart, just wanted to just share a few of my words, which is basically related to humility. And this is the sloka from Sanskrit. The first thing is Vinaya Phalam Shushrusha, Guru Shushrusha Phalam Sudam Jnanam, Jnanasya Phalam Viratihi, Virati Phalam Cha Asra Anirodhaha. So the meaning of it is Vinaya Phalam. The meaning is Vinaya means modesty, humility, can use that. Phalam means the result. Whatever from we get out of our humility, humbleness, and all that is results to Shushrusha. Shushrusha means it's a kind of word which is a unique word. Because you'll see many times in hospital they use Shushrusha, means somebody want to take care of us. But actually it is the service. When you become humble, you can do the service. Now, when you take the same service to the Guru, you get to know through Shrutam Jnana, means you listen and get to know the knowledge from the Guru. From the knowledge, Jnanasya Phalam Viratihi. Viratihi means detachment. So when you do anything in life, you need to have detachment in life. For example, if you are doing in school or anything, any time in life, if you really focus on just only the results, you basically get either happiness or sadness. So you need to avoid both. So you need to be just detached from either of these results. So you need to just focus on your activities and do the best. Again, Viradi Phalam ta Asra Anirodhaha. From detachment, you get the salvation. Salvation means not something you kind of go and go to heaven or something like that. No, it's not just that. You will achieve the peak of the zenith of what you are going to do. For example, if you are doing something amazing in a sports, you basically first start with the humbleness. I want to learn from the teacher. Once you know something, you learn from the teacher. You should not get into the head. Oh, I know this now. I don't want the teacher to teach me anything more. So there you block yourself from learning more. So that's the first thing you should learn, the humbleness, right? Then you get to know more from the teacher. Once you have the knowledge, then again you have to be detached, because anything can happen while knowing things, right? I know more things and you get frustrated or happiness out of it. So both should not be there. That is why detachment is very important. Once you are detached, you can achieve whatever you really want. That is what it is called Asra Nirodhaha. So that is extremely important to achieve that peak wherever you want, whatever you are going to do in life. So I just want to just touch upon this topic, just because Dr. Shamakrishnan mentioned this. It takes 30 days to create a habit, but that habit could change your life for the next 30 years. Like what Dr. Shamakrishnan said, like sleeping early, or you have your dinner early before certain time, just 3 hours before. You keep doing that gym, go to a yoga, many things you can do, but it will keep you as good spirits for next 12 hours. So that's essentially what this means. So this all needs humility and humbleness to achieve this life. So I just want to the last topic, which is there are two aspects of humility. One is the pride, which comes with who is right. Other thing is humility is what is right. To know what is humility and pride, is there are like two sides of the coin kind of thing. So you need to balance it out. And again, thank you so much, Raghuram and Ram Garu for everything. And I'm really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you everyone for this. Thank you. And best of luck to them. Over to Raghuram.
Thank you so much, Padmanabhan. So short and sweet, and this has really inspired us, and very, very short, so we can remember it very fast. Thank you so much. So now,
thank you.
The title for the day is Feeling Independent Through Interdependence. And we all start our life from a dependent stage. This is from Stephen Covey writing. We start from a dependent stage and we become independent. We feel that, we have become independent, but actually we are interdependent. That's what we are seeing live today, that interdependency between we people as Utsahins, and having a wonderful, a set of beautiful expertise speakers. And here we are. And now I welcome our third speaker of the day, Santosh George. Santosh has been very humble enough to accept the invitation to speak for us and inspire us. He is currently working as a senior vice president of head for project management in Rebate, Reserve Bank project. He has got 30 years of experience in building and implementing enterprise products for clients across the globe. And Santosh is today with us, who is responsible for global implementation and professional services for a lot of multinational companies, Cognizant, KPMG, Rolta, and all this. And now I request you to please inspire us, Santosh. Over to you.
Good evening, friends. Are you able to hear me well?
Yes.
Okay. So good evening and good morning, Anand. So it's really nice to be together once again. So the topic that has been given is the magic of financial management. When the topic was told me from Raghu, the first thing I really thought was, I'm meeting him after 40 years. Is there an old score you want to set? Because it is such a big topic, which takes probably years to kind of understand and discuss and things like that. But so what I really thought was, I wanted to share four different thoughts that came up to me, especially when you deal with the financial management. So it's called magic because in the world, that there's no magic. Even if you look at a magician, for example, he doesn't have anything unrealistic. What he does is, over the years of practice, or the kind of speed that you achieve in the process, we create an illusion of magic. I think it's very, very similar to the case of financial management. When you see very successful people in the world, you actually see that he's a magician. But the reality is that whatever the person has achieved in his life is probably years of dedication and the hard work that has really gone behind it. So 4 things that I wanted to share with you. The first one I want to talk about is financial management brings responsibility and accountability in life. So I want to start telling about a couple of incidents in my life. So I used to work in Chennai. So in Chennai, my offices were spread out. So I had a personal driver who used to take me everywhere. So at times, he doesn't come. So Chennai, there's a habit of having what's called a call drivers. So you can call a driver, he comes for the day, and then he leaves in the evening. So that's a regular practice in Chennai. So I had one regular driver, like a call center, like a person who regularly comes in the morning. So morning when he comes, he's really fresh. He wears only a white shirt and he has the smell of that sandal. And he goes to the temple and comes there. And he's an extremely dedicated, excellent driver. But towards evening around 6 o'clock, his whole attention changes. Okay, by 6, 7 o'clock, he's a heavy drunkard. Okay, so he has to go and drink in the evening after 6 or 7. And whatever he earns during the day, he spends on the night itself. So next day when he comes, normally he doesn't have even money for even a breakfast. But he repeats the same cycle. Okay, so this is one kind of a person that I've really encountered. Then I have my regular driver. So when you employ a driver, he asks about the salary, for example. So he asked me about the salary. So he said, X amount is what I require plus 50 rupees. So I was a little curious. I said, it's okay. I did my mathematics behind it. 50 into 20 days, this is going to only cost me this much. So I employed him. So over the period of time, what I realized is that what he is trying to do is within that 50 rupees, he takes care of daily expenses. So that means he buys his vegetables and food or whatever he wants to do it, he does it in that 50 rupees itself. So the remaining money is his investment for his life. So this is really two different characters. One is a person who doesn't think about tomorrow. All he cares for is today I need to enjoy. I need to do whatever my hearts tell you to do. And I squander the money. Whereas the other person, he has a family to take care of it. He has big ambition. So what he does is, even when the salary changes, he wants that 50 rupees separately. So that, his expenses is always kept to that area itself. So the first thought I really want to talk about is when you have a financial management of something like this. So financial management is no big deal. It's all about understanding your inflow. That is whatever the kind of money that you get and what are the kind of outflows that you are having. As long as you note it down in even a paper on an Excel sheet or a sophisticated software, it doesn't really matter. It's all about financial management. But when you have this kind of a habit that you build into this, it's a huge discipline that you're bringing into your life itself. Okay, so it will bring you a lot of responsibility. It brings you a lot of accountability also. This is very specific because today, if you look at a lot of youngsters who get into the job, they get more than what their parents earned for the last 20 or 30 years type. So you get a lot of money. What you do with the money is very, very important. So that's the first thought I wanted to leave with you. The second thought I want to leave you is every life should have a larger cause to live and earn. So that is a very, very important thing that each one of us have. So I believe God has a plan and a purpose for each one of us. Okay, we have a different environment we come with. We have different passions to do in life. But I believe that each one of us should understand where their passion is and what I should do. So this is much beyond that, taking care of the family and the children and their marriage and house and everything. There should be some reasons, where it should be much larger than that. So it's so good to see that, there was an interest in, making the people learn the things. So different people have different passions. Over my life, I worked with across India, across the world. So I had a passion about being with the villages, a lot of medical team, because I have a team along with me. So we used to spend a lot of time on that. So all my earnings, I had a very different value on the whole thing. Whatever I learned, it is for a purpose and a plan. So this is the second thought I wanted to leave with you is that every life should have a larger cause. It is not just your family and children and the studies. It's much, much more. The power of money is in giving. So when you give it, I think that's really you understand the power. Then you understand there's a reason for learning itself. And the third thought I wanted to share with you is do not compromise on values. So this is something, we very, very commonly see when you have a very successful in your financial pattern. So you have seen in many cases like Satyam and leaders in ICAC, extremely successful people. Satyam was, I never worked with Satyam, but when I was in Oracle, I used to meet with all these leaders of the Satyam. So there, what has really happened was they were very, very successful. At some point of time, when they were not successful, they had a peer pressure. So they had to manipulate their financial statements. And that in the process, they got caught in the process itself. So money has a habit, which can money can make you blind. Okay, so it's so important that your core value system, whatever happens, whether it's an integrity, whether it's whatever the core system that you're having, make sure that the values are never compromised as you achieve more stability in your financial aspect. So very, very important to understand. And the last thought is, probably I'm sure it will be applicable for most of us, is doing it together, it is fun. So why I mentioned about this one is most of you are probably married. It's for, but there may be many people who are, planning to get married. So, or maybe at a student age, you might be thinking about marriage at some point of time. So, but doing it together with your spouse is a very, very important aspect. So, one of the things, I was reading an article on Cafe Coffee Day. I think all of you know about Cafe Coffee Day, because I have a huge respect for Cafe Coffee Day because it is an unknown name. Starbucks and other things came up in the US, but in India, this is the Starbucks of India. Okay, we are from an unknown territory. I know Siddharth bought up the entire industry, but you know that at the end of the life, he committed suicide. So when he committed suicide, he had a debt of 7,300 crores. Okay, and what happened was his wife took over the business, and within 2 years, the debt has become 1,700. Okay, so probably Siddharth in his life, I don't personally, I do not know him, but in his lifetime, he never understood that there's a huge person of high caliber in his family. Okay, so if you had probably involved her in the early stage in the things should have been very, very different itself. So doing it together is extremely important. So it is fun when your husband and the wife are together with a plan and a purpose. I think it brings a lot of value. It brings a lot of discipline in terms of how to save, how to spend, that comes into the picture. So many youngsters, I assume a lot of youngsters who might be hearing this may be thinking about getting married. You look at a lot of other things, the beauty and the caste system and so many things. There's nothing bad about those things, but what's very important is take a time to understand, what the person's heart is all about. Okay, if you really have a good understanding that your interest and the person's interest is together, doing it together will be a great fun on that. So this is the 4 thoughts I wanted to share with you. Let me quickly summarize that. There's no magic in financial management. It's a question of just keeping your accounts clear. Okay, whatever the money that you get it, how you spend it. So the spending is really becomes a part of your attitude. So I was trying to talk about what kind of attitude that you have to develop in your life itself. First is about bringing that responsibility in your life, accountability in your life. Second is if you already have a great cause, that is good. Otherwise, find out, where is your larger cause or a passion where you can work beyond what you normally spend. The third aspect is to never compromise on values. That will come and strike you at some point of time. And the fourth thing I wanted to talk about was about doing it together as a family. It makes a huge difference to each one of you. Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much. This is the real magic of, the thought about the financial management, Santosh. I never thought that, it was so easy. Wonderful. You have made into so beautiful takeaways, spend with a little bit of values and have values for that and save the part for it. Seriously, when I used to think, where petrol prices are increasing and I never go and fill up the tank, always it's like, anyway, it's 1,500 only, I don't look into the per liter cost there. Every time, I get confused between debit and credit also, and you have cleared it. And thank you so much. I'm sure everybody are listening are, very much glad to be a part of this one. And where there is an invest on the passion you have told, and very, very importantly, very, very important. I strongly agree to what you have said. You will make your spouse also a part of your life and passion. Thank you so much, Santosh. Stay back, and we'll have another wonderful, passionate talk and inspiring talk from our Subramani. And Subramani is from US, and he has logged in from US. What he said is, before 4:30, even a minute, I will not log in. But poor guy, he has kept an alarm and came for us, and today he is here. And thank you so much, Anand, for this. And he is an experienced leader in pharma and biotech. It's demonstrated. He has been the leading AstraZeneca today, and he has provided a lot of leadership to several novel product initiatives. That's very, very important in this field of life. Currently, he is the vice president for AstraZeneca. Dr. Subramani, he has got experience in building and management cross-functional teams, leading organizations and strategies. And more importantly, how we are connected, how myself, I am connected with him is, he is a Carnatic music lover like me. And yeah, that's what he is talking about. And over to you, Anand. Subramani.
Thank you, Raghu. Good morning, good evening, everyone. I really appreciate having the opportunity to share a platform with my distinguished colleagues and speakers before, Shyam Krishnan, Santosh, George, Padmanabhan, and Raghu. These people were so inspirational even during our school days, and even today, look at it, 40 years later, the DNA doesn't change, right? So they are still inspirational. I'm so awed by the topics they covered today. So thank you, Raghu and Sri Ram Garu, for inviting me to be part of UtSahin today. Congratulations on your second anniversary. I was paying attention to what Sri Ram Garu had mentioned. So I think one of your missions is to come together to realize human values and realize the self within. I think it's an amazing value vision statement for you guys. So wishing you all the best. So today I've been asked to talk about a topic. So I was looking at Raghu and said, okay, I'm going to talk about let's follow the passion. Today I don't have any slides. I'm going to touch upon why passion is important. I don't have to really highlight this because you all know what it takes to be, and my previous speakers have touched upon. But just before I go to passion, I want to share how I get inspired every day. I've been very, very fortunate to work in the healthcare industry. As Raghu pointed out, I work for AstraZeneca, and in the last 2 years, we have supplied almost 70% of the world's vaccine. And believe it or not, we are not a vaccine company. We are a company who makes medications for cancer, cardiovascular and renal metabolic disorders, and respiratory diseases. But given the pandemic and the state we were all in, our CEO decided to get into vaccines so that we can save humanity. And we licensed the technology from Oxford, and we developed vaccine. We were one of the first vaccines approved, and more importantly, it's so inspirational for me. I mean, vaccine companies are plenty. To come to this forefront to put healthcare into a #1 place and also sell it at cost, it's something that's very inspirational. So I look up to my CEO, Pascal Soriot, and others in the SET team, because it's really inspiring. And there's another reason why I mention this, because if you look at the values that we follow, working in healthcare is amazing. You know, many of you and family members are doctors. Many of you also have some unfortunate chronic side of indications or things that you have to endure in your life. So the satisfaction you get when you say to folks that, hey, I have developed, I was part of this team, I've developed this medication. So it's really rewarding. And my colleague and this Dr. Shyam Krishnan already touched upon this. Essentially, what we are trying to do is, if you look at healthcare today, it is not about selling a drug, whether it's a pill or an injection, but we are about bringing patient outcome. Improving the outcome is the main driver today. If you look at any pharma companies, AstraZeneca or my colleagues in other pharma industries, our job doesn't end by just selling a pill or an injection or an IV bag, but it's about bringing that positive outcomes in patients' life. This fundamentally changes the whole way you work. You know, our job doesn't end by shipping a box out of the door, but whether the patient has improved in his or her outcome. So this is something I say that it's very passionate to be in your job. Why I say this? Because that outcome enablement. It can happen through medication. It can happen through following their lifestyle, as the previous speaker pointed out, following their vital signs, whether it is sensors, whether it is things like glucose monitoring or cardiovascular monitoring, activity monitoring. So clearly, there's a continuous path. Our job doesn't just end in one place. It's just really a continuum. So the whole intersection of technology and healthcare and pharma has really enabled us to be in a place where more and more people are having healthy lives. So if you look at some of our values, we follow 4 things. Essentially, push the boundaries of science. As I mentioned to you, we really have to push the boundaries of science to understand what is in the scope for us to understand a well-being or an outcome of a patient. Keep patience in the center of everything we do. This is something, getting up in the morning, working through the day. It's about sometimes you'll be working for blood-brain barrier, getting things to the brain. Sometimes you'll be working to localize delivery for heart. Sometimes it's for targeting the tumor. So keep patience in the center of everything. Be entrepreneurial. That's something you have to be passionate about. We are all in different phases of life. I can see my friends, even though they have been in different places today, we have been taught to be entrepreneur in your life. We all have taken risks, whether it's in school. I can say how my friends have been in leaders in their own rights outside of studies, whether it is organizing something for the class, for your community, whether it's for bringing out your talent or bringing people together. Be entrepreneurial in what you're doing and do the right thing. Right? Sometimes success comes may not be immediate. Sometimes people blossom late in their lives. So be really do the right thing always, and the outcome will enable you. So having passion is something like having a canvas with a vision. I think, as Santosh George pointed out, that you need to have a vision of how you're going to make your income and expenses needs. You need to have an Excel sheet. You need to have a paper to write down how you're going to plan. So similarly, having a passion is something like having a vision for your own self. And we all have to do our stuff, whether it is studies or college, to earn a living. But passion is very different than earning a living. So you have to decouple. Sometimes your passion could be in area A, but you are doing something in area B. But that doesn't mean that you cannot balance the two. At several points of time in your life, it comes that you may be able to really drive your passion forward. In my case, since we're talking about passion, I've been always interested in music. I've been able to do school prayers with Raghuram here, and also, we used to go to competition. Clearly, so the music was part of our lives. But certainly, I started rigorous learning music only after my PhD. Believe it or not, I've had the opportunity to learn music and throughout my school time. But sometimes when you have a passion, you keep it. Okay, you do a certain form of music, but with age and your growth, your interest will change. So to me, Carnatic music brings that work-life balance. It could be any form of music. And as Shyam pointed out, work-life balance is really important. So your passion sometimes give you that peacefulness. Sometimes it could be yoga, it could be meditation for other people, it could be swimming, it could be anything. But keep your passion alive, because in order to be successful in what you're doing in your lives, you're nurturing your passion on the side is really, really important. And it drives you automatically, right? So having passion is like having a canvas. And also, I think one of my previous speakers have touched about it. You have to indulge in family activities, right? You have to really engross yourself in your passion, your work, and your support system is your family. So again, many of these things are, you may see it's easy to say, but believe me, if you nurture something, it will automatically come out in you. You will not even realize when it's going to happen. In the course of your life, from the middle school to high school to college and life, these days you can peak at any time. The way we have new things happening. I mean, if I look at 75 years back, or by the time when we were in school, things are very different. I just want to give you one example. It just reminded me. Can I take 1 minute, Raghu? Yeah, there was one Harvard Business article I read. This was like almost 12, 15 years ago. It was doing a leadership training, and they said the demise of railroad industry. It's an amazing article for me. It is an eye opener, because if you look at it, 50, 40, 60 years ago in the US, owning a railroad stock is like the ultimate gold bond, right? Because railroads were the gold standard of travel, because they were competing with horse-driven cars. Okay, things are different in India, because India, the population is so huge. Railways is still the pulse of the country. But in the US, railroads, where owning railroads is like, is one status symbol. But now if you look at railroads in the US, people hardly travel by train. And the whole transportation has been taken over by automobiles and air travel. Now, one of the reasons why they mentioned that the railroad decline was because they lost their vision. They lost their passion was to transport people from A to B, but they didn't really think that their job is transporting people, but they were focused on other things, which could be, let's say, for instance, they were competing with horse-driven cars. They never saw the advent of fuel-based motor vehicles and also planes. So clearly, the landscape is going to change. We all know that today, we are able to see all of you through this beautiful, online media, and tomorrow it could be some other technology. So having a vision for the future, having a passion will really enable you keep balance between the present and the future, and also improve your skill sets to be the best. So with that, I really want to thank all of you, UtSahin, for inviting us, and also great to see all my colleagues here and former classmates. And thank you, Raghu, for putting this program together.
Thank you so much, Subramani. As you rightly said, the passion lasts long, and unless you put the ambitious passion towards the complete trust into that, you will not be able to. And you have used a wonderful example of railroad examples. And today, similar thing is happening in India also. We stopped the cooking. We are really completely, onto Zomato and Swiggy only, all online only now. Cooking slowly, we have started, passionate towards cooking now. so slowly that transformation is happening. And thank you so much, Subramani. Thanks for your time. And please stay back. And we have Mr. Ramreddy coming up. And for Ramreddy Garu, please come up for a 2-minute closing comment.
Thanks.
And followed with Anirban. Anirban, please.
Thanks for restricting me for 2 minutes. Because after listening to wonderful people over here.
Because Ramreddy Garu, our speakers have stuck to their timing of 10 minutes, and this is a true, beautiful, small, excellent, inspiring talk. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you all. And first of all, being a special day for our country, India. So let us pay tribute to all the great souls who sacrifice, so that today we are enjoying this coming together. And I wish all everyone, UtSahin, everyone, a happy Independence Day, especially its Diamond Jubilee. And also I would like to mention my few words with a quote by Maharishi Aurobindo. True knowledge is not attained by thinking. It is what you are. It is what you become. And today, this 4+1, 5 people have set an example. This is what one of the direction of the UtSahin. I'm so grateful to all the 4 speakers who are the schoolmates of our own Raghuram Garu. And we were thinking how to make this second anniversary session a special. So we don't have to talk big things, but today you have shown the example. So we are all UtSahins are grateful to you, and thanks for joining. And as everybody says, knowing is not being. Knowing is here, being is in the heart, and doing in the skill. That's what we talk about 3H in the UtSahin also. Head, heart, and the hand. Of course, at the hand, we started using some instrument, but it's all about the skilling. So as we complete 2 years, so we are in the direction of making this platform. I'll be very glad that all the team of the volunteers UtSahins are working towards making it hybrid model, that we want to start even offline, starting with our home city, the Hyderabad, India. So the very simple fact that the UtSahin word itself says it is very contagious, and you can see our master of ceremony so enthusiastic as always, starting from Charan to this minute. So I think I'm coming 2 minutes closer. So before leaving, I would like to mention that Deham and Desham are not different. So we need not to worry much about the Desham, when Deham, which Also, all our speakers told, when we live as an example, it spreads, and our Utsahin mission is the same. We just wanted to connect the hearts to inspire with their own lives and also get inspired. So before closing, I would like to remind that our country's name Bharat itself says we are the people where it is the land of the intelligent people, and all the speakers are saying we can see here. So this is a time we have to recommit ourselves to be heart of the world, as modern world says global village. Our Indian culture says global family. So we as the Utsahin family, so invite all of you to come together, join the hands to make a difference. As one story, the glimpse of the story says, the whole story I put it in the 2 lines. When the sun was worried during the night how the world will be, because during the night sun is taking rest, and how the world gets the light. So it is very tough. And one of the diyas, the lamp, went to the sun and said, "Don't worry, I may not give the light as you give, but I can create a light around me, the possibility." And we all
What a Sundar.
can become that small lights. And when all the lights come together, I think we can lead the world. And I'm so happy on this very special day to meet you all, wish you all. And I would like to once again remain thank you all and very grateful to you. And as our prayer itself says, Sangachatvam. So come together, let's move together. Namaste, Sangachatvam. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Ram Reddy, for this wonderful short speech. And now we have Anirban giving a closing comment. I'm sure, Anirban, over to you.
Thank you. At the outset,
He's actually not on video. It's okay. Come, please.
thank you. I excuse for not being on video today, but on this outset, I would like to first of all wish every one of you a very happy Independence Day. Hearty good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the globe. With the Indianness at heart and with the message that Ram Reddy ji just mentioned, let us all strive to work together and sustain together by first being those rightful examples and mastering our own body, mind, soul continuum, so that we are the best examples of how the nation can progress. And towards this goal of both mastering ourselves and spreading that wisdom around, Utsahin as a community has been inviting great speakers and illustrious members from all walks of life. We had the opportunity of listening to 4 illustrious personalities, starting with Dr. Shamakrishnan today, who spoke about the importance of how right sleep and the right way to sleep is very critical in remaining energetic. He also spoke about how good quality of nutrition, the right amount of nutrition, and the right timing of nutrition is very important to ensure the healthiness of the body. And third, he spoke about why control of our sensory organs and how we utilize the senses is very critical in being healthy. All the 3 points were illustrated with suggestions and examples of what is good and what is unhealthy, which in turn, I think if followed, are very simple lifestyle mechanisms of being and leading a healthy life, both in mind and in body. We had our second speaker, Sri Padmanabhan Iyer, also who spoke about the importance of humility in life. He started off with a verse that beautifully brought out the importance of how being humble leads us to render service. And when we render service under a guru, under a realized master, we get wisdom from the master. And when wisdom comes into life, we learn how to live in detachment from desires, passions, relations, and everything material, so that we live for a higher purpose, which in turn leads us to salvation. And that's where he's taught why humility is the path to lead us to salvation through the right service detachment route. And he closed his talk with the important quote on saying, it doesn't matter as to who is right, but what really matters is what is right. And knowing that is about being humble. Our third speaker of the day was Sri Santosh George, who spoke about the topic of financial management, where he spoke about a 4-point formula on how one can maintain their finances. His first point was about being responsible and accountable, where he narrated a personal story about his driver and how his attitude, one person's attitude of being irresponsible, another person's attitude of being accountable and tracking their financial inflows and outflows created a great difference in their lives. His second point was about how every life has a passion and a purpose, and living life with a larger than life purpose and realizing your passion is important. His third important nugget of wisdom was about living in accordance with one's core values. Every one of us, we come with a set of core values that we learn early on in life. But living in accordance with them decides whether or not we can become successful in life, both financially as well as socially. He took the example of the Satyam leaders who, under peer pressure, had fallen into financial trouble or crisis later on in life. And the fourth point, which Sri Santosh ji mentioned, was about any activity, whether it's CSR, whether it's enterprise, or whether it's any social activity one performs. It's good to take your family into a concession and work together with family on it, because that way you don't just rely on your own capabilities and you don't just fail with your own prejudices and shortcomings, but rather you build on top of your family's strengths, who in turn can possibly counteract your weaknesses. He took the example of how Siddharth of Cafe Coffee Day fame had died with a huge debt, which his wife promptly had covered up for him post his death. And all his life he lived without the realization of the potential of the life within. So that is a set of points that Sri Santosh George mentioned, followed by our last speaker of the day, Sri Subramani, who Anand Subramani is in the healthcare practice, working for AstraZeneca, where he took an example of how AstraZeneca as a company created a turnaround story of supplying vaccine to close to about 70% of humanity. And he brought that point in connection with how one must live with passion and inspiration, and how he sees his company's passion to provide lifestyle improvements to their patients, not just selling drugs. Whether it's improvement of one's lifestyle habits, whether it's improvement of monitoring one's lifestyle parameters, or provisioning the right drugs wherever they are necessary. It's about pushing the boundaries of science to help people live well. And he spoke about how passion is like having a vision and a canvas for the implementation of the vision, and how every one of us must live with our with the understanding of what our passion and purpose in life is. Sometimes, if there is a discord between our passion and the work that we do, or the actions that we take and the professions that we have been educated into, it is still important to later on in life recognize what our real passion is and to connect with it. As in his own example, he spoke about how music was his passion from early on in life, but it didn't take a critical stage in his life until he pretty much crossed his post-graduation and then his doctorate. That's where he discovered that he needed music to maintain a good work-life balance. He also spoke of the importance of how passion will ensure that you stay in touch with your vision and you don't lose vision. That helps you to balance between your present and your future. So those were the nuggets of wisdom that we received from our four illustrious speakers today. And I believe that if followed, all of these four speakers, what they spoke, will truly help us attain independence in the person with the right interdependence with humanity and the nation at large. That is the message that we will leave you all with this Independence Day. Once again, happy living, happy Independence Day. Back to the host.
Thank you so much, Anubhav. Thanks so much for taking your time out. And I request, now it's the Utsāhin prayer in English. In the beginning, it was in Sanskrit, and now it is in English. Please listen to this. One second. Give me a moment. I will just. There is a technical problem here. 1 second. Yeah.
You may have to unmute the
Yeah,
audio.
I did it now.
Utsahin prayer. May we march forward with the common goal.
May we be open-minded and work together in harmony.
May our prayers be one.
May we belong to one brotherhood.
May our aspirations be harmonious.
May our minds be in unison.
May we strive to reduce disparity.
May we be bound to strong fellowship and unity.
Sangachatvam.
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 Yeah, now I request Mr. Yash to extend the vote of thanks, please. Yash, over to you.
Thank you so much, Raghuram sir. Respected speakers, most valued guests, audience, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It's my privilege to extend vote of thanks on this special occasion of second anniversary of UtSahin, Educating Minds, with the theme Feeling Independent through Interdependence. And coincidentally, it's also falling on the 75th Independence Day anniversary, Azad Ka Amrit Mahotsav. I, on behalf of Team UtSahin and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers for gracing the occasions with their presence and sharing their nuggets of wisdom with us. A big thank you through Dr. Shyam Krishnan sir for awakening us by enlightening us on how to wake up. Tell what a proper sleep sounds like. It's a complete 24-hour package of guidelines of how we should live and the health indicators. Thank you, Sri Padmanabhan Iyer sir. Despite your travel schedule, you have decoded this sloka to us very beautifully. Thank you so much for that. Sri Santosh George ji, you have made an indelible mark in our hearts through driving the message of the right attitude of responsibility and accountability through the call driver example. A wonderful storytelling as well. Thank you so much for sharing the story. And also, I would like to thank Dr. Anand Subramani ji. Change takes time, but when it happens exponentially. You have beautifully highlighted the importance of nurturing your passion. Don't lose the vision in this process, and it will get tremendous benefits. And also beautifully explaining the balance between the present and future. Thank you so much, Dr. Anand Subramani ji. I would like to also thank our own Raghuram sir for being MOC for this today's wonderful meeting. I think you'll be celebrating your 40th friendship anniversary as well on this day. It was a nice coincidence as well. And also I'd like to thank Rami Reddy sir. He has beautifully ended on this note: who you are and who you become. That is the result of this education, and yes, given a beautiful summary. And also I would like to thank Anirban Paulji for detailed summary and closing comments. He made sure that we did not miss any nuggets of wisdom. If we did during the speeches, he made sure he kept no stones unturned. And I would like to thank Charan for a wonderful opening of this meeting, and Team UtSahin and everybody for supporting this platform. A special thanks to our audiences who have been continuously patronizing us, thanks for all the support and keep supporting us. We will strive our best to give the best. And with this, I would like to hand it over back to Raghuramji for. Sir, you are muted. Raghuram sir, you are muted.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for reminding. This always happens to me. Sorry. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, and thanks for your time and on this wonderful day. And it's going to be a wonderful memory takeaway for all of us here, and we are truly inspired by these 75 minutes. Thank you so much. Yeah, and may I request everybody to please stand up for the national anthem. Please stand up for the national anthem.
गणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे